Hello out there in YouTube land, Mark Allen Gunnels here. I'm making this video today to discuss the new Crystal Lake Publishing anthology, Tales from the Volume 3, edited by Monique Snyman. I have a story that appears in the anthology entitled The Pigmalion Pigs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that story and then do a brief reading. The story was actually inspired by a friend of mine, Harper Hull, who also appears in the anthology with his story, The Cruel. He is very interested in this, for lack of a better word, phenomenon where people talk about the children's books, the Berenstain Bears, saying that they remember the name Berenstain being spelled different when they were younger. It's now spelled with an S-T-A-I-N, and they remember S-T-E-I-N. And there's been a lot of talk online, people suggesting that it is evidence of alternate realities, parallel universes, things like that. Not saying I believe it, but it's fascinating and interesting, and I thought I could really do something. So I created this story about a man named Joe who decides to order a copy of his favorite children's book from his childhood, The Pigmalion Pigs, to read to his daughter. Only he discovers that his memory of it being spelled Pygmalion with a P-I-G is not the reality now. That is spelled P-Y-G, like the word Pygmalion really is. He's very upset about it, talking to his wife Tasha, who doesn't really seem to get it. But when he gets the book, he finds that not only is the title different, but the ending is different than he remembers, and he can't find any evidence that the way he remembers it ever was. So he goes on like a desperate search to find proof that it's been altered, and it leads him to some pretty scary places. So I'm going to do just a brief reading from the story, and I hope you enjoy it. Joe stepped to the counter and picked up the package, opening it and letting the thin, oversized book slide out into his hands. That familiar cover, but the not quite right title. You want to hear something strange? The stranger the better, Tasha said. I got online at work to research this book. That is strange, using your work time to research a children's story. That's not the strange part. I wanted to find out when exactly they altered the title's spelling. And what did you find? Nothing. What do you mean? I mean, every single reference I found about the book has Pygmalion spelled with a Y, and I can't find anything about the title ever being changed. In fact, I found some images of old copies that are spelled with a Y, none with an I. She said, tasting the stew that bubbled in the pot. That's all you have to say, What do you want me to say? You just remembered it wrong. No, I didn't. That was my favorite book from the time I was 4 till I was in 2nd grade. I still had the thing when I finally moved out of my parents' house at 21. I'm telling you, it was Pygmalion with an I. Honey, I'm not doubting your mental prowess, but you were a kid, and with the story being about pigs, you probably just got that all jumbled up in your memory. I remember the cover vividly. Tasha stood with her head tilted again, the same skeptical look she always gave Julie when she thought the girl was being less than honest. What then? You think someone methodically went through the net and rewrote the history of a children's book? Joe laughed, although the sound was somewhat forced. I know, it's just weird is all. Memory is weird. Growing up, I heard people tell the story of how my sister Violet got her big toe cut off in a bicycle chain when she was 6, so often that I truly believed I remembered being there and seeing it happen, even though I wasn't born for another year. I know you're right, Joe said, though a tingle of unease still lingered in his gut. I always am. Now go wash up. Supper will be ready in about 10 minutes. Joe kissed his wife, then slid the book back into the package so Julie wouldn't see it on his way upstairs. Like I said, that's just a little brief reading from the story. Hopefully enough to intrigue you and entice you. So, give it a try. Tales from the Lake Volume 3. It's available on Amazon in paperback and digitally. Another great book from Crystal Lake Publishing. So I hope you enjoy the reading. Thanks.